a mouthpiece was designed for other than to keep you from clinking your teeth together or biting your tongue. I had no idea that it was to align your jaw. The season that we did not use the Power Plus, we lost 4 kids, 2 that were season-ending concussions, and obviously we contributed to the Power Plus mouth guard because, like I said, we've not had one since we've been using them. Obviously, we've competed a lot better than what we did last year. We have not had a concussion this season. Obviously, a tremendous factor for us for not losing kids, and their performance level is a lot higher as well. My son was actually the quarterback on the second state championship team, but one of the things that he was able to do as being the quarterback, the mouth guard was on the lower part of his bite, so he was able to speak clearly. And that's a huge thing in athletics, is to be able to communicate.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. So like and subscribe and check us out.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
The Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at netsn.live.
Welcome, everyone, to the Week 7 edition of the Beasts from the East show. It's your boy, Brett Swinney, here alongside of a normal cast here. We got Mr. Red Zone, Kyle Owens, Vincent Johnson, and CM Corey Marshall. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot.
Picks last week, not too shabby. Kyle, I think you might have had the most here out of us 4.
Yeah.
9 wins, not bad.
You know who got me? Them dang Pirates over in Pine Tree.
Pine
Those
Tree.
are the ones that got me.
They got me too, man. I think they got all of us, actually.
Remember, did not pick them. Did I pick?
No, you said you wanted to.
I wanted to, and I did.
No.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this the right picks? Hold on. I wrote down Pine Tree, but I didn't pick them.
No, we're trying to change your pick after the game, Vince. It's okay.
Hey, y'all remember what I said? Go ahead,
Vince. How'd you do this week?
Not so good. I was 5-5.
Ooh.
It was
Corey?
ugly.
How'd you do?
Say what?
I said, how'd you do this week? Did you beat Vince's 5-5?
I don't remember. I didn't check.
Okay. All right. We'll ask Coach Hubbard to check for us before Wednesday night. I'm sure he'll have all of us. I think he actually did better than me. I don't know. I can't remember what he had, but we had one 10 for 10. I think 9 for 9 was the next best. So it's a tough week though. Good news is in our Pick'em Challenge, you can throw that one away and go to week 7. And there's always a new contest every week. Let's talk week 7, guys. There's some really good games this week. Just going down through here, I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. As we kind of start getting into the meat of district play, teams coming off bye weeks, a lot of teams. Game 1 is a good matchup. could be the district championship matchup in that district, as Forney coming in at 5-0 against highly state ranked Longview guys. Forney, just looking at their schedule, they've blanked a few teams. Vince always talks about blanking the teams are tough. Of course, the thing that I'm going to kind of look at is that game last week. They played Lufkin tough. Lufkin lost to them 42-24. So Forney got the win there. And what Longview did to Lufkin a few weeks ago, and they just pretty much demolished Lufkin. So I'm going with Longview in this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Forney makes it closer than anybody else in the district, though.
I'm with you. I think this game is probably for the district crown. I think these are two best teams in that district. I was looking at the same thing that you were looking at, how Forney had blanked Frisco Memorial, Mesquite Poteet, and West Mesquite in back-to-back games. But there's one common opponent, and it's Lufkin. And Forney gave up 21 to Lufkin, while Longview gave up 0. So because of that, I'm taking the Lobos.
I'm gonna take Longview. I'm not even gonna think about it. It's probably gonna be a closer game than Longview has played all year. But they're gonna win. They're just gonna win because it's Longview.
Longview.
All right, consensus to Longview. We'll go to the next one. Game 2, Brownsboro and Bullard. I want to call this an elimination match, but it might be. I mean, these two teams are trying to get in that top 4. You've got, Carthage, you got Rusk, you got Center and Van, were the playoff teams from last year, and Bullard and Brownsboro are right at the edge. They've had good preseasons, but we kind of questioned how their schedule, who they played. They've both been beat by Carthage so far in the district schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So right now they're looking at trying to stay alive and being competitive. So what's the old saying? If you're trying to make the playoffs, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat and then try to steal one of those games above you. And I think this is one of those they've got to beat. The other one's got to beat this one. I think whoever loses this game is going to have a really tough time competing for a playoff spot unless they just come out with 2 or 3 big wins. So just kind of looking at the schedule and how they've looked, I'm going to go with Bullard in this one. I think they're a little bit stronger than Brownsboro. I'm going to take the Panthers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is an elimination game. We've had 3 teams in that district that we've been talking about all season: Carthage, Center, and Van. They've kind of separated themselves. Bullard and Brownsboro, between them and Rusk, will be battling for that 4th spot. I haven't seen Bullard. I've seen Brownsboro. They didn't look very good. The positive for Bullard is they had last week off. So they're kind of weeks to prepare for Brownsboro, essentially. With that being said, I'm going to take Jakyle Baker and the Brownsboro Bears.
Oh, all right. So Kyle goes to Brownsboro. Okay.
I'm gonna go Brownsboro. I don't really have no rhyme or reason behind it, but I just got that feeling. That's all it is. Still got that feeling.
Simple and go. No, I'm picking Bullard. I think Bullard was undefeated before they played Carthage, and I think their defense is a lot better than we give them credit for. They lost 38-14.
They're both like
4-1
or something like that. 5-1.
Yes.
Right? I think Bullard's
4-1. Brownsboro's 4-2.
Oh yeah,
4-2. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And how much did Brownsboro get beat by Carthage? Was 50-something to 7? I could be wrong, but they gave up a 50-pointer. But that's neither here nor there. I think Bullard's defense is better. And I think they can stop Brownsboro. So I'm gonna give it to the better defense at this point. But I think Bullard's playing better football.
Brownsboro's lost back-to-back weeks to Van and Carthage. So those are your 2 losses. So they were undefeated before district play.
District, okay.
A lot of teams were.
And they ain't really yeah, they ain't really playing anybody.
I tried to warn y'all about one of those teams last week. Tried to warn y'all about that. Anyway, sorry. Anyway.
Okay.
I hold some sour grapes towards that town. So towns.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
We heard you.
Okay.
I didn't pick them. So
good job.
okay. So we got 2-2 there on that one. So let's go on to game 3. One of our NETSN schools, Brook Hill, will be hosting Arlington Grace Prep. And talking to Coach Hubbard a little bit about this one, he thinks this is going to be a really good game. But man, Brook Hill's on a roll right now. I feel like they're rolling into coming into district play, and I'm going to go with the guard in this one over Arlington Grace Prep. It's going to be in Brook Hill, their hometown. I guess their hometown game feel. It rivals anybody around here. I mean, it's just an atmosphere. If you've never been out there to a Brook Hill home game, you should do it. Get the early tailgate. It's a lot of fun. I think they're going to be ready to play. They're coming off a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare. So I'm going to go with Brook Hill over Arlington Grace Prep.
I'm going to make this one real simple. I'm going with Coach Hubbard and the Brook Hill guard.
Yeah. Just like KO, I'm going with Brook Hill. Let me write that down. Brook Hill's on a roll. I mean, they made a couple of adjustments, some changes to the lineup, and it seems to be working. They have this kind of chemistry, this synergy that even when they're down, their play doesn't show. You know what I'm saying? Like you see some teams who go down in the game and they suffer, and now they're constantly making mistakes. Brook Hill don't seem to be like that. They'll get down in the game and they'll come right back and make a play, you know. And I've seen enough of Brook Hill to where I could almost pick them every week from here on out.
Okay. You know, I'm picking BH. A cannonball defense. Yeah, I don't know much about Arlington Prep, but you know, I think Brook has played well. Other defenses played well. I just feel like they haven't played that one complete game that's just been, you know, mistake free, you know, and they just, you know, dominant. But you know, they played good football up to this point. They got a bomb kicker, so I'm going Brook Hill.
All right. Game 4. Grand Saline and the ARP Tigers. This is where I'll be Friday night in Grand Saline for this one. Another important district game is Grand Saline took the L last week, so they're looking to try to. This game might be for 4th spot, depending on how it's going to be. 3, 4, and 5 are going to be fight between Edgewood, Grand Saline, ARP. I feel like right now, West Rose kind of has the upper track because they've beaten ARP already. So we'll see how that plays out. But man, I look for Smeeky and Company to go on the road and get probably a statement win this week in Grand Saline. This would be one that would kind of submit them as a definite playoff contender. And so I'm looking to see ARP. They played well last week. We kind of talked about how good was Winona, but they donkey stomped Winona pretty good last week. So I'm looking for that momentum to roll into Grand Saline and the ARP Tigers to come out victorious.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. I kind of agree with what you said about the district. I think West Rusk, Troop, those are your top 2 in the district. Grand Saline, ARP, and Edgewood probably fighting for that 3-4 spot. Grand Saline played Edgewood tough last week, lost by a point. Before that, they had won 3 in a row. ARP beat Winona, but I don't think Winona's that good. I think Edgewood had a bad game. They had 4 turnovers and 2 blocked kicks in that game against Winona, which they got blown out. So I don't know, but saying all that,
it's a good point.
This is a tough game though. I think it could go either way. I think it's going to be a 1-possession game, but I'm picking the ARP Tigers to go into Carter Elliott Field, Indian Memorial Stadium, and knock out the Grand Saline Indians. By the way, Brett, if you need anything done over in Grand Saline, you just throw my name around and they'll make it happen for you.
Kyle's on our team, you know, and took me up with the Kyle Owens treatment. That's what that's for.
Yes. They will also take your order at halftime, so you don't have to leave the press box. They'll go take your order and get you food.
Man.
Okay. All right. How many times have I gone against ARP and been successful?
That's what I was
the
thinking.
question. That's the real question. It has it has nothing to do with who's better. This is how many times have I gone against them and been successful. I think only once.
I need to
Put the
pick the
phone
phone up.
down. Pick the phone down.
Sminky. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vince is way more than you
Um,
guys this week. Big matchup here. Oh, okay.
man,
He says they're ready.
I'm gonna go. Kyle made a good point, man, about the whole thing with Winona. And is Grand Saline? Are they any good? Are they really who we think they are? Like, I mean, maybe not.
You tell us, Vince.
Vince, let me help you out a little bit.
I'm on the fence, bro. I'm
Let me
on
help
the
you
fence
out.
on this one.
So Grand Saline, they lost to Cooper.
They lost to Cooper. Yeah,
We know they're good.
they're
But
good. We know
they
that.
put up. I want to say they put up like 19 on Cooper. So
Okay.
then they lost to Palmer, who's another decent team, and it's
Okay. I don't know
also
nothing about Palmer, so okay.
they lost to Palmer, and then a 1-point loss to Edgewood. Other than that, the teams they beat though aren't really world beaters.
No,
So
I'd say they're not real good. They don't have any quality wins on that schedule. I don't see.
But who has Art beat that we can definitively say was a decent team?
if you go off last year, they beat Joaquin, which was a good team.
No.
But Joaquin's garbage this year. So yeah,
This year.
Carlisle is,
Carlisle's not very good this
bad
year.
too.
Yeah.
They bad too.
Tenaha?
That would be their best win, I think.
That's their best win? Yeah. Okay.
Whereas Grand Saline's best win is probably Quitman,
which is probably the bottom feeder of their district with Winona.
I'm gonna go with Art.
Yeah, those two.
I'm gonna go with Art. Tell Smink I'm good. We good today.
All right, our Sminky, he went with them this week. All right, all right. Tell the team. All right. Okay, you're good. Corey,
tell him we good.
I have a feeling I know where you're going, Corey. He may not be going anywhere. Is he frozen?
Corey,
you there?
Can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Corey, can you hear us?
Okay, my internet is like messing up.
Oh,
you hear me? You hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Oh.
There he goes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Good. You're good now.
Yeah.
My internet's been acting stupid all day. I got to reset my modem. I didn't hear everything what Vince said, but I'm gonna go with ARP. I'm not going against ARP this week, so I'm going ARP.
All right.
Okay.
All right, ARP, come through. Remember, if you want to catch that game, you can watch it on NETSN live this week. We'll have that game live. All right. Moving on, Game 5. This is a juicy matchup. Kilgore and Lindale. Seating on the line in District 9, 4A Division 1. If we'd tried to talk about this game maybe 3 weeks ago, and Kyle's probably going to agree with me, I'd have been more confident on who was going to win this game and the margin wouldn't be close. But Lindale, the last couple weeks, has found some defense from somewhere. I don't know where they found it from. They recruited some players from somewhere. I don't know if maybe they just decided to start playing. But 2 weeks in a row of really solid defense from Lindale. Very impressive. The game is in Kilgore. It's just tough to pick against the Big K right now. They're playing well, and they're looking down the road. Hopefully not too far down the road. If I'm going to pick them, hopefully they focus on this one in front of them. But I'm going to go with Kilgore this week just because of what I've seen so far in the schedule. Lindale has looked suspect at times, and over the last 2 weeks they have looked better, but it's not Kilgore across on the other side of the field. It's a little bit different, so I'm going to go with Kilgore.
This is our red zone game of the week this week, so I'll be in Kilgore for this one. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good game. Kilgore's defense has been the story of the season for them. the first couple games, they gave up 20-plus points. They haven't given up double-digit points in the last 4 games. Let's just put that into perspective. They gave up 9 to Hallsville, 7 to Palestine, and 7 to Jacksonville. They have not given up double-digit points since Gilmer in week 2. Now, Lindale, on the other hand, was giving up points like Oprah was giving out prizes on her TV show. But past couple weeks, they've given up 7 and 7 to Henderson and Athens. And I was at the game Friday night for a quarter between that Lindale and Athens game. Lindale's defense, man, they were flying around. They were hitting people. They were all over the place. Offense did enough. They really didn't have to do much because Athens wasn't doing anything offensively. So this was going to be a barn burner, man. I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm back and forth on who to choose. I still think Kilgore's the better team. And I do think they have probably the best defense that Lindale has seen this season so far. And that's going to make it a little difficult for them. I'm going to take the home team. I'm taking Kilgore.
Man. Lindale, okay, they played some defense the last 2 weeks, but that defense has been MIA for 2 years. I don't think that when you play a team that has clearly been showing their strong suit, showing what they're capable of all year long, I don't think that's going to equate to much. Like Kilgore is just strong. They've been strong. They're gonna finish strong, Now, that being said, I do feel like Kilgore is due for a loss. I feel like that. I don't think it's them though. I just don't believe that it's Lindale. So I'm gonna go with Kilgore. Good job playing defense though, Lindale. Y'all have stepped up defensively, but now you about to play a team that might be one of the best defenses we covered in this whole Northeast Texas. So we'll see. We'll find out what happens Friday.
All right, Corey, who you got?
I'm picking Lindale for the upset.
Ooh, upset special. Heard first here on NETSN.
The audacity.
It's the audacity, man. You know what? And it's I'm trying to just imagine. Lindale scored a lot of points. That offensive line, Lindale's offensive line is really good. I mean, they're really good. Probably the best in the district. Kilgore's good. I think Kilgore's gotten better. They scored a lot of points. I think the most they scored this past week against Henderson. They blasted somebody. They put up a 50 burger on Henderson, I think.
And that was a message to everybody who said they couldn't score.
Yeah, so did Lindale. They put up a 50 burger. So I don't think that just lets me know that White House and those other opponents that Henderson was playing is not as the same competition as Lindale and Kilgore. That's what that lets me know. I'm picking Lindale. I'm picking Lindale I don't know how many points it's going to take. I think if Lindale scores over 30, I think if Lindale can score 35 points, I think they win the game.
Okay.
All right.
That would be a big output as far as what Kilgore's allowed this season. That would be more than Carthage scored on them. So I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that if they can score that many.
If they score that much. But if Kilgore holds them under 20, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
If Kilgore holds them on, first of all, if Kilgore can hold them under, but here's a problem with this. Here's a problem with this, though. Lindale can move the football.
They can.
That's the problem. I don't care how good you are, and we haven't talked about Chapel Hill.
They can.
But Palestine moved the football. Lindale can move the football. Okay? Now, it's whether – and if you can move the football, you control the clock.
Yeah.
So we shall see. We shall see.
It's gonna be a
All
good
right.
show.
We're gonna see.
And I just wanted to tell y'all, I got Jeremy sent his picks in. He wanted to take the night off, but he did send his picks in. I was supposed to be reading him. I forgot. He had Longview, Bullard, Brookhill, ARP, and he has Kilgore in this one as well.
Okay.
So he's that's kind of in the majority, I guess, of what we picked so far. All right, the next one, Game 6. An important one in that district is Lancaster and Tyler High, guys. Man, I got to see Tyler High last week. Was impressed in some aspects of what they're doing. I can see the improvements on the field with the fact that they didn't give up and didn't quit. Lancaster, man, they have a really tough schedule. That 1-4 record is very skewed. I'm just looking at who they had played, and one of the teams on their schedule was still South Oak Cliff. You've heard of those guys, right? They won state a couple of years in a row.
I think
They ain't
everybody in
having a
the
good
state
year.
of Texas heard about them.
Oof. Yeah, and so I was just kind of looking down and seeing, like, okay, so what's the deal with Lancaster? Okay, so they both lost to McKinney North by similar margins. Lancaster played in McKinney North on the road and lost by 7. Tyler High lost by 5 at home. Lancaster played Longview pretty tough. They lost by 17. I think that was a lot closer than I thought the game would be. So right now, Lancaster is in, I would say, have to win mode at this point. They lost their first 2 district games. They've got a round of games coming up. They've got Tyler High and Forney coming up. Okay. I'm gonna go with Lancaster in this one. I think they're gonna protect their home turf. It's gonna be tough to drive all the way to Dallas and beat a team like Lancaster. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think it's a 1-score game, but I think Lancaster. I think they're gonna win this one. I think they're gonna come out with an urgency that they have to win, and they take care of business.
Yeah. This one's interesting. This is an interesting game. The thing that Tyler needs to do, they have to start fast. If they get into a hole like they have every other game this season, they're going to be in for a long night, because Lancaster is one of those teams, you let them get hot, they're going to stay hot. And they're playing at home. They haven't had the season that they are, expected to have. You look at the last 4 years, they've won 11 games, 10 games, 10 games, and 9 games. So for them to be 1-4 out the gate like this is not your typical Lancaster team. For them to put up 35 on Longview is impressive. But like we heard last week, that was with a lot of backups in that they got those points on Longview. I love the fight that Tyler High has shown all year. I think that it's awesome that they're competing in these games and not getting blown out like they have in years past. I just don't think Tyler's quite there just yet. They're close. They're getting closer, but I just don't think they're quite there just yet to go get a win like this on the road, a statement win where, you take out Lancaster's record, 1-4. That's like you said, that's skewed. They've played a lot of good teams. So with that being said, I'm taking the Tigers.
Yeah, those teams are that they lost to: Dallas, South Oak Cliff, Denton Guyer, McKinney North, and Longview.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's Tyler High's record if they played those teams? I think it's probably pretty similar. So, what makes the game interesting?
So, I think that if Tyler High plans on winning this game, it's like it's just like Kyle said, you got to start early. You can't go down 21 in the first half. And then again, Lancaster, yeah, they play some tough teams. But they still ain't got but one win. They still ain't got but one. And it's a possibility. It may not be true, but there's a possibility that there might be some form of some mental block that they have. Like, some like I talk about all the time about people checking out early in games and stuff like that. And when you get to this level right here, when you get this close, when you get this far and you still ain't got but one win, most people go into games already with a losing attitude. Some do. I ain't gonna say most, some do. So it's possible Lancaster may come out flat, right? Either way, I told a couple of people at the beginning of the year that I believed that Tyler High would win 7 to 8 games this year. And in order for them to do that, they're going to have to get over this game. So I went with Tyler High because I got to believe I have to believe in what I said at the beginning of this year. And that was before they played a single game, but I think it's possible. I think they can do it. Now, from here on out, it's the road is tough. Let's be honest, the road is tough, but it can be done. They clearly have shown that they got the tools to do the job. Again, just like KO said, they gotta start early instead of waiting until the second half to play games. There are other teams that are like that too. You see, even like sometimes when we watch Chapel Hill play, sometimes they play teams real close in them first 2 quarters. And then all of a sudden, second half comes and they trample them. And it's like, where was that energy in the first half? You could probably score 100 points if you wanted to. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyler High in this. That's gonna be my upset one, my upset pick.
It's not an upset. Tyler High. I mean, you can't regress from here. This is good. This is a good coaching point, man.
People regress. But the thing is, I say upset because, Lancaster is predicted to be really, really, really good. They just had an unfortunate schedule.
Here's what Bill Parcells says: "You are what your record says you
are." Don't do that.
So if you're 1-4, you're 1-4. I don't.
Not all 1-4 teams are built the same. Not all 1-4 teams are built the same.
Not all 1-4 teams built the same. But according to Bill Parcells, your record says what you said.
I'd say in the NFL, I would agree with that.
The Cowboys. It's probably when he was coaching the Cowboys.
I think you could say that in the NFL. You can't say that about high school though. Yeah, NFL that makes sense.
Honestly, if you put Tyler High with the same schedule that Lancaster has, they would be 1-4.
I agree. And
you know what? The thing about that is, I agree with that, but that still doesn't justify Lancaster being better than Tyler High.
Well, I don't
to
know.
Me, if nothing else, I think I know. I think they're even, and we don't know who's going to win.
The game was at Rose Stadium. I would have probably picked Tyler High. Since them having to travel to Lancaster, I think it's going to be tough to win on the road on a team that's basically in a must-win game for them.
And I'm still picking Tyler High. You want to know why? I'm finished by saying this.
Go ahead.
You want to know why? Because I have faith. You got to believe. If there's anything you got to do, you got to believe. I believe.
And that's why I'm picking them, because I believe in.
They should have won that game this past week that they had. They had a week off. They didn't play anybody this past week. They had a bye week. They had a week off. Should have won their first district game. They came back and fought. And you had this time to prepare for a team. You don't get a week off and then you don't get a week off and not prepare, right? You should prepare. You should do your best to prepare for this team. They have the athletes. They always have the athletes. It may not be Division I athletes, maybe not like Lancaster had in the past couple years. Okay, it's a trap game this is a trap game, right? It's who can get this win. But this is a great coaching moment, great teaching moment for a program that's trying to get a win. That's why I said I believe that they'll come out of here and get this win, because the tides are turning for that team, and they need that win for sure. That's why I believe they'll go out here and get this win. I don't know about how much, maybe by a field goal, but
I want to be clear. I want Tyler High to win. I do want Tyler High to win.
You said it right.
I want JT to win, but
it's okay.
Okay, cool. It's a safe space here. We can say JT.
John Tyler. I say John Tyler all the time. I still say Lee all the time.
Hey, my mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
I approve this message, Kyle.
Okay. Well, in that case, I want John Tyler to win. I really do. But my hesitation is what I said and what you reiterated, Vince. The slow starts. They have not started a game strong all season long. They've always, every game they've had to fight back to win. Every single game. So that worries me, especially when you're going on the road to play a tough team. Don't care about their record. They're a tough team. That Lancaster team's a tough team. But when Tyler High really hasn't gone on the road. Their first 3 games were at home. Right. And then they've only gone on the road once to North Mesquite and won 21-6 to open up district play. So I don't know, man. That's my hesitation. I want JT to win. I'm not sold on them just yet until they start games faster. They can finish games. I need you to start that way, though.
I'm with you, Kyle. I mean, honestly, that's fine. I'm here to pick who I think is going to win, not who I want is going to win. So, at this point, I just think that if it had been in Tyler, I would have gone with Tyler. I think it's that close, but I think that having to travel that far is going to be tough to try to get in there and get a win on the road. Also, our Jeremy has picked Lancaster as well. He went with Lancaster this week. All right.
Let's go.
Game 7. It's everyone's favorite team, the Pine Tree Pirates, taking on the White House Wildcats. Man, Pine Tree is my Achilles heel this year. I don't know what it is. If I pick them, they lose. If I don't pick them, they win. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but White House right now, I still feel like that they're the second best team in this district.
Don't drink that Kool-Aid. Don't do it. Don't drink that Kool-Aid.
White House is still the second best team in this district, Corey.
I'm gonna tell you who's gonna win this football game. I'm gonna tell you, we'll pick them. Go ahead and pick them.
I know
you got a reputation of home. Go ahead and pick them.
There's no reputation. I just pick
who I think. Pick them, champ. You got a whole belt.
Exactly. I pick who I think is going to win. I don't pick for comedic purposes. I pick who's going to win. I'm going to pick the White House Wildcats to win this one. So far they've just been the better team. I know Pine Tree they've kind of been on a roller coaster team to me, and you just don't know what team's going to show up. Is it going to be the one that just got donkey stomped by Marshall, or is it going to be the team that beat Nacogdoches last week? The team, I mean, it's just up and down all season with Pine Tree. I just feel like that I can't be confident and say they're going to beat White House. White House is scoring points all over the board. Honestly, besides that first week's game, they've been pretty impressive. So I'm going to go with White House.
Yeah. Time I don't drink the Kool-Aid, Corey. I drank the Pine Tree Kool-Aid, then they bit me. And I didn't drink the Kool-Aid, then they didn't bite me. Or they still bit me because I didn't pick them. So with that being said, I think White House is the better team. I'm taking White House. I don't think White House loses again until Texas High.
There you go. I'm going White House, and KO just said why right there. I don't think they losing again.
Go ahead, Corey.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Pine Tree. Go ahead.
Trap game. This is a trap game of all epic proportions. It is in the hands of Pine Tree to take this game, and I'm going to tell you why. Nacogdoches wins. That Nacogdoches barely loses against White House 35-32 the week before. The barely win theory is in effect. Pine Tree comes in, and they get a good win over Nacogdoches. Nobody picks them. They get a good win over Nacogdoches. Yeah.
Corey,
and guess what? Now White House last week. Now White House is coming to Pine Tree, and guess what happens? Boom. Boom, here we go. And then they come with an upset. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
They win a game. They win a game, and Corey jumps back on the Pine Tree bandwagon. Look at there.
I said somebody had to win that game last week. I picked Nacogdoches. I said, you know what? I'm going to go against my better judgment and pick Nacogdoches. But it's okay. It's all right. That team who wins that game is probably going to get on a roll. They're probably going to go on a roll. And I'm picking Pine Tree. If you look at it, don't look at the records. Look at exactly what's happening. This team had a good win, 3-3. Now the best second place team in the district is coming in. They already had a couple of games where they gave up all these late half heroics, right? They haven't been playing too well. Pine defense is still pretty good. Let's not overlook them on that. Their defense is still pretty good. This is a trap game for White House. White House got to come here and win this game. They ain't gonna just hand it to them. Upset.
Okay, so Corey, here's why I'm
Book
going against Pine Tree. Okay, it's their week to lose. They lose week 1 against Van. They beat Lindale the next week. They lose to Kilgore. They win against Jacksonville. They lose to Marshall. They win against Nacogdoches. They're a roller coaster team. It's their turn to lose this week.
I said, if they beat Nacogdoches, that team is going to be on the roll. And I just said that. That was a game they had to win. If Nacogdoches would have won, Nacogdoches would be on the roll. Pine Tree had to get that win. Tell me, watch it. Upset. 23-17. I don't know. Just pick a score.
All right. White House also was picked by Jeremy, so he had White House as well. So there we go. All right. Game 8. Rusk and Van. This is a really good game here in that 4A district. Man, I like these teams. It's because it's in Rusk. Rusk played center well. Center just had too much firepower last week. It was a good game on NETSN. I was impressed. They were able to. I mean, they put up a lot of points against center. Of course, a lot of people have, but Van, they're kind of one of those sneaky good teams around. Not many people are talking about Van, but I think Van and center, that game right there for second place will be a really good one. When that game happens here down the line, I'm going with Van in this one. I think it's going to be a good game because it's in Rusk, but I just think Van's just a little better this year. That talent they brought back from last year's team is going to have that experience, and they're going to be able to take out the Rusk Eagles.
I think this will be the toughest game Van has had since the Lindell game. I understand they beat Paris by 1 point, so it looks like it was a tighter game, but I think offensively, Rusk will have the weapons to compete with Van that they haven't seen since Lindell. But it's kind of same thing we talked about with Lindell with Van's defense. They gave up 7 to Brownsboro and held Canton to 3. Didn't even give up a touchdown to Canton last week. I think Van's rolling right now. I mean, they've won 4 in a row, excuse me. Their one loss to Chapel Hill. I'm taking the Van Vandals. I like what they're doing. This will be a good week to try and get their defense to continue to roll because the next 2 weeks after that, you got Center and Carthage. So it's going to get real. This is the meat of Van's schedule right here with Rusk, Center, and then 2 weeks off or a week off before you see Carthage. This is the meat and potatoes of Van's schedule. We'll know a lot about them after these 3 games, but I'm taking them this week against Rusk.
I'm going Van. I don't have no reason to go the other way with this one. My dad's from Van. Part of my life I grew up in Van, just a little small part, but Van was Van was talked about last year as being a pretty good team, right? And they started out strong, right? They played Chapel Hill and snuck out a win there, and then they kind of fizzled. They kind of went back and forth a little bit in the season, but I think they got in the playoffs, but they didn't probably go as far as they would have liked, obviously. But I think they picked back up, and it's weird because nobody's really talking about them now. And I think it might have something to do with the fact that when we were talking about them a year ago, it was like they couldn't really pull it all together like we would have liked. They couldn't put it together. Like I said, they did make playoffs, but they had some struggles where people thought that they were just going to win games. They were just going to flat out win them, and they had struggles last year. So I think that's why a lot of people are quiet about Van right now. But I'm gonna say it for what it is. Van is dope. Van is dope. They're a tough team to beat. And no disrespect to Russ. I think Russ is a good team too, but you're gonna have to give me a reason to go against Van at this point.
You got Van. I look at the schedule. They scored pretty much 28 points and they put up 42 points against Lindale. Their defense has been lights out. You play against, like I said before, Lindale's offense is pretty good. The two weeks in a row, you play Chapel Hill, give up 50, give up 42 against Lindale, and everybody else, you just shut them down. Most points you give up after that was 28. So, or 27, I'm sorry. So, I mean, you look at that team and you say, is Vanpert? Yeah, I think they can withstand. I think they've gotten progressively better throughout the year. And I said it wrong. They didn't give up 42 points against Lindale. They scored 42 points. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but nonetheless, I'm picking Lindale. I'm picking Van. I mean, I picked Russ last week for the upset, and I think Russ just kind of ran out of gas. They didn't have that much firepower, and because center could just score anytime they wanted to, and I think Van's defense is stout. So I'm picking Van.
All right, and our buddy Jeremy, he's picked Van as well. So Van with the sweep there. All right, game 9. Dangerfield, New Diana. The last week, New Diana took Harmony to the brink.
But what happened? What happened?
Harmony won. I picked
okay.
I picked them.
Okay.
But I think I was surprised that it was that close, honestly, Kyle. I mean, I especially when you told me of Boston Seahorns return.
Well, he got to get acclimated again. But the Harmony was up 42-35. New Diana scored late in that game, went for 2 to try and win it, and Harmony held, and then Harmony recovered the onside kick. So that's how they won. So they could have still been playing.
Wow, that's just. I thought maybe the extra point got blocked or something.
No, they went for 2.
Wow, that takes a lot of, a
lot of intestinal fortitude.
Yes. Okay, so in this one, we've talked about Dangerfield, just the athletes they have on the field. I'm not sure if Chase Johnson is back, but I'm thinking he probably is by this point. It's district play. He was out for several weeks. I'm not sure if he's back, but either way, if they've got Hampton on the field, they'll just put him at quarterback, best athlete on the field. I think Dangerfield handles New Diana in this one.
Yeah, Dangerfield easily in this one. I think Dangerfield had an off week last week. They played Hugh Springs, so they won 42-0. But yeah, New Diana, listen, they had a great non-district schedule. They beat Quitman, Mod, and Redwater. Then they beat Wascom by a point. They got a district win. Awesome. Then they lost to Harmony. Now you got Dangerfield. I think those are back-to-back losses. And I think there's still one more loss lingering for New Diana at the end of the year. I think they'll take care of business against Hugh Springs and Elysian Fields. But Queen City at the end of the year is probably going to be a little tough. So I can see New Diana still making it into the playoffs as a 4 seed. But as far as this week, Dangerfield, Dave Campbell says the spread's 55. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I'll say probably three touchdowns or so, but I'm taking Dangerfield.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dangerfield. I like Dangerfield, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't have no other reason other than the fact that I like them. I think they play good, they play hard, and I just got a feeling they're gonna win this one. They're gonna pull this one off.
I like them too, Vince. I like them too, but I don't like them more than I like Harmony. But I do like Dangerfield.
Player from Boston.
From Boston? I don't know. I can't do a Boston accent.
From Boston.
Boston.
I can't do it.
You gotta say if you say
get the
you gotta say
You gotta get the cockies.
Yeah, the
That's
cockies.
Close. You know what's gonna happen? Somebody's gonna see this who's from Boston and be like, "Y'all gotta stop."
Hey, you know what? That's fine. They always make fun of people from Texas.
Completely wrong.
You come see me at the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
Dangerfield, man. Dangerfield Tigers, man. This is what it is. They know what's up. It's money time, you know. It's only like, you know, after a while, there's certain teams you look forward to playing. They're not looking forward to playing anybody else until the playoffs. So it's Dangerfield.
The disrespect. They still got Harmony at the end of the year, Corey. Just chill out, all right?
Ooh.
They're not playing. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Jeremy has to change it for as well.
Respect.
So
he said, "What?" Jeremy
has
who
Dangerfield, yes. Game 10, and this is a really good matchup here. Two teams we've been talking about all season in that district: Gilmer, Pleasant Grove, guys. Man, I look at this matchup, and I've kind of been on the Pleasant Grove bandwagon all year. As far as I think this is their year to do something. They've got all that talent up there, and they're seniors. They're senior related, so they got a lot of experience. Gilmer's just young. I think they'll still compete in this game. Being it's at home, it's a tough place to go into play is Gilmer, but I think Pleasant Grove does it this year, and I think they take care of business and knock off Gilmer in this as the kind of the game of the district schedule for the two teams.
I'm going to disagree with you as far as I don't think the game's going to be close. I think Pleasant Grove is head and shoulders above Gilmer this year. And this is not to pander to Eddie. I really do think Pleasant Grove, I think this is Pleasant Grove's year to take the district and make a run in the playoffs. I understand the week one thing with Gilmer that was what it was, but then they lost to Kilgore, struggled with Paris, struggled with Lindell, then put up 82 on Prosper Walnut Grove 2 weeks ago. So, but they gave up 62. So I look, man, I think PG is going to put up some points. Dave Campbell says this spread's 2 points in favor of PG. I think it's going to be a lot wider than that.
The being at Gilmer probably has a little bit to do with that, right? I mean, it's
maybe
tough. It's just tough to go into Gilmer. Any team tough to go into Gilmer and get a win. I think that's probably why. I'm sure the spread with Chapel Hill Gilmer was probably closer than it should have been too.
I think this game is going to get out of hand. I think Pleasant Grove probably puts up 40 or 50 points. And I think I think Pleasant Grove's defense is a lot better than Gilmer has seen this year. So, yeah, I'm taking PG. Point blank, I'm taking PG.
Okay.
I don't want the Gilmer folk coming after me because I said they're going to get blown out. So I'm just going to stop there. I'll take PG.
I'm going to go with PG. Now, by the time Eddie sees this, I want him to know we ain't on the same team. I just think that y'all are better.
Yes.
And
yes,
y'all are more equipped to win this game. I will resume picking against y'all after this week. Nah, but yeah, I honestly PG they're loaded, man. And don't get me wrong, Gilmer is Gilmer, but I feel like me saying that is me hanging on to what they were before. But when I look at how they've played this year, they haven't played bad football. They hasn't lived up to what they've been used to in the past. So I think playing another and some of those games, I feel like maybe they shouldn't have lost some of those. But you finna go and you playing PG. PG ain't gonna take it easy on you. You know? So yeah, I gotta go with PG in this.
So this is why you don't crush opponents. This is why you don't put up 100 on somebody, right? Because the moment you're weak and the other opponent is strong, they gonna tax you. It's gonna happen.
They gonna tax
you know what I'm saying? And so,
but I'm gonna
they gonna
listen.
tax.
But hold on, Corey. Let me be clear about this. Let me be clear about something. As long as I got it, as long as I got that the gauntlet, that golden Thanos gauntlet, I'm gonna snap whenever I feel ready to. Now, when I fall off, I fall off, by all means, stomp me. You can stomp me, but if I got a chance to score 100, I'm scoring 100, point blank.
and this is why I said, like,
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
They can't wait. No, you're good. You're good. That's what I'm saying. Because I poked you. But this is what I'm saying. The opponents can't wait till you're not who you are. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they want you at your best.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But they'll take you as you are, no matter what. Because they want to get revenge. Okay, revenge is the best dish served cold. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I want to humiliate you. Okay, that's what they want. At this point, Pleasant Grove, they've had to deal with this thing the past couple of years. Gilman's had their number. You know, no matter what, they played them tough. We're tired of this, man. We got our guys. We're senior-laden. We're coming in. We have probably if not the best defense in East Texas besides Kilgore and Van. We're coming out here. We're ready to play. You know, we know your offense is good. Forget all that. I don't even care if you scored 82 points. You may score 2 against us today. Like, that's what we're saying in the locker room at this point. You know, that's the mindset that you have to have. Now, I would get on something else. I'm not going to get on that. I'm not going to get on some other team at this point. But your mindset needs to be, you're not scoring with 2 points on us today. You're not running the football. You're not doing that today. That's how I believe Pleasant Grove is going to take this game to Gilman. We're going to stomp on you a little bit. We're going to say we got state titles too, man. You know, that's how we're going to take it to. And this is one of our years. That's how that's how you know you have a good pedigree. So I don't think it's going to be close. I think Pleasant Grove is going to respectively beat them, and the coach is not even going to shake hands. He's just going to tip hats and wave and just walk off the field. That's how you do it. Just, you know.
Jeremy also has Pleasant Grove, so everyone's going with the Pleasant Grove Hawks this week. Should be a good one though. I know Kyle thinks it's going to be a blowout, but I don't know. I think it could get ugly late. I think Gilmer keeps it close first half, and I think they pull away in the second half in that one. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this week, guys. Let's see. Kyle, you already told us you're going to be in Kilgore and Lindale this week. That's going to be the game of the week.
Correct. Should be a good one.
Vince, where are you going to be this week?
I believe I'm in Chapel Hill. Am I in Chapel Hill this week?
Yep.
Or no, Brookhill. I'm in Brookhill.
No,
right?
you're in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I'm in Brookhill. Yeah.
You're in Chapel Hill this week.
I'm in Chapel Hill?
Yeah.
I had them mixed up.
Yeah, you're in Chapel Hill.
One of those hills.
I got about what? Four games left, 3 games left, and I'm trying to remember which one was which. Chapel Hill. I'll be at Chapel Hill, and then that's what it'll be. Corey, where you gonna be at?
I mean, I'll just say something. I don't know. I don't want to be at. Be somewhere.
Right there watching all the games.
He's going to have all the games up.
I might not. Maybe after bending corners. I don't know. You never know.
I'll be in Grand Saline.
Enjoy your time, man.
I'll be in Grand Saline for the big Grand Saline ARP game, big district game this week. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for this week's Beast of the East. Make sure you tune in tonight as you're watching this Wednesday morning for the weekly wrap-up show. We'll get into some in-depth about last week's games. We'll go over the picks and the pick'ems and who won and who lost and all that stuff this evening. Thanks for tuning in for the Power Plus Mouth Guard Beast from the East show. For Kyle,
Go Buffs,
and Corey, it's Brett. We'll catch you next week. Stay tuned for our show tonight. Weekly wrap up, 8:30 p.m. Y'all have a great evening. Good night, everybody.
Hook 'em, Red River Rivalry.
Truly, before now, I didn't really know what actually a mouthpiece was designed for, other than to keep you from clinking your teeth together or biting your tongue. I had no idea that it was to align your jaw. The season that we did not use a Power Plus, we lost 4 kids, 2 that were season-ending concussions, and obviously we contributed to the Power Plus mouth guard because, like I said, we've not had one since we've been using them. Obviously, we've competed a lot better than what we did last year. We have not had a concussion this season. Obviously, a tremendous factor for us for not losing kids. and their performance level is a lot higher as well. My son was actually the quarterback on the second state championship team, but one of the things that he was able to do as being the quarterback, the mouth guard was on the lower part of his bite, so he was able to speak clearly. And that's a huge thing in athletics, is